And we are back out here at Thunderhill East Bypass, and we're driving the 2024 ND3 Mazda Miata. The setup is essentially the same as before. The only thing that has changed, which I'm honestly not even able to detect, is we changed the wheel hubs, because I originally had OEM wheel hubs, then I went to the 949 Racing Supermiata wheel hubs, which are supposed to be beefier and more heavy duty than stock for track work. However, there was a manufacturing defect with one of the bearings, and they recalled them because there is some play in the wheels, which is not good. So we're going back to stock wheel hubs instead. But the 949 Racing guys have been very gracious in terms of making sure everyone is whole, getting either a refund or replacements. But other than that, I mean, the Miata has the same mods as before. So we have these Konig Hypergram 17x8 wheels in bronze, wrapped in Vitour P1 tires in a 215 section width. Tecna Coilovers at full stiffness, that's 8K, 4K, front and rear. Actually, the rear is 5 clicks away from full stiff. I have stock sway bars. We're out here with Lightspeed track events. Use coupon code JABAL to save on your next event. And also, if you like these Senna gloves, use JABAL273 to actually save using the link below. And this Elantra N has had so many offs. I'm amused because he has had so many offs that day. Giving some point buys, being courteous, and the Miata, you know, we got these brake scoops in the front. For those who've been following along, we've had quite a few issues with brakes overheating and just not being able to keep up. And the brake scoops actually helped quite a bit. However, when it did seem to help was mostly during the colder months, like winter, December, early January. And now, this was actually filmed in March. Things are warming up a little bit. This was actually not a good day at Thunderhill. Everyone was running 2 to 3 seconds slower than normal. So my buddy Alex and also Fenton from the Zygreen channel, they both drove Alex's ND Miata, which is quite a bit more modified. It has aero, it has 245 section width rubber, it has MCS coilovers. Like, it is properly, you know, a proper track built Miata, although nothing to the engine. It is stock. And they were able to hit 206s. I think high 206s, like a 206.7 and a 206.8. So I'm gonna overtake that NC Miata because we are still on the outlap and we're still slowly building pace as our tires are warming up. So a 206.7, 206.8 is really, you know, we're not gonna hit 206s because this is simply a significantly slower car, but that is the target. We're gonna try to get as close as possible, hopefully 208s or similar. Getting quite a bit of oversteer there. So yeah, slower day at Thunderhill, but it is a track that I very much enjoy. But the issue that since it is warmer is that the brakes by the end of the session are going to start giving out. And for those who've been following along, there are some pretty big changes coming to my brakes soon, no pun intended. And we're going to see if that really fixes the biggest Achilles heel that I feel the ND3 Miata has. So far, our best time today has been a 2:12.7. That was our outlap of a 2:29. This is going to be the first lap now that we're properly timing. And even though I very much hate the brakes on this car and feel silly for having gone with the factory Brembo package because they are woefully inadequate for any kind of track work, I should have just gone with the regular club and then got a BBK separately. But other than that, I'm actually really loving this car more and more because I've been fortunate enough to review a lot of your cars, you know, my viewers on the channel, and many more reviews coming soon. And the more cars I drive, the more I start to realize what I personally like and do not like. And the Miata, I mean, at the price point, sub 50K, the only two things that I really want are either an ND3 Miata or a Lotus Elise. And between 50 and 100K, honestly, there's not really much else that I would want. And no, even that Supra in front, I like a little bit more communication, I like lighter weight. And even at 120, 130K, the Cayman, you know, the strut suspension in all four corners is a significant limitation. And those who say otherwise are generally not driving their cars hard enough to actually feel that limitation. So it's like after Miata, it would be Lotus Elise and then a GT3, which is like such a big jump. But that's honestly how I feel right now. So first lap, we're still getting our bearings. Quite a few corners here that I am going to be able to shave a lot of time off. But we're already approaching a 210. Not sure if I have to go all the way down to second here. Honestly, could possibly do third. We'll see what I do in the subsequent laps. But this Miata, you know, I've done an alignment as well, driven up the caster. It has such a fantastic steering feel, and the front end with double wishbone is so much better than something like a GR86 that I was driving before. All right, 209.8. We're gonna keep chipping away at that. You have that short wheelbase, the multi-link in the rear. All the fundamentals are there. Excellent manual transmission, and see here, just playing right at the edge of grip with this Miata to really start eliciting quicker and quicker cornering speeds. Hopefully we're going to get a point by from this Supra. Quite a bit of correction there. That slowed us down. That was not optimal. Oh, there's our Elantra N again. Now our line is compromised here, but we'll do what we can. We're now slower than the prior lap. But we're going to go hunting for that ND Miata in front of us. I keep doing that little confidence tap on the brake pedal there, but I don't need to. I could just do a partial lift. But we're going to slowly work up, build that confidence. Always better to be safe than sorry. Don't want to have an off at such high speeds. Shout out to TrackSpec Autosports in Fremont, California. They've been doing a lot of the mods and the maintenance on my Miata. They do great work. Check them out, linked below. We're in front of the Elantra. Let's try to catch this other ND Miata that looks identical to ours, red with the same exact tow hook in the rear. We had a bit of traffic, so this last lap is slower. We're now at a 210.34. We're going to shave some time off of that in the next couple laps. Carrying more speed, a bit more slip angle as well. You're seeing more of these micro corrections. Love the inputs on this car. I do wish the throttle was a little bit less sluggish, but it is still so linear. You just have to blip it a little bit harder on your heel toe rev matches. And it's communicative enough that you can really dance with the car at the limit, corner after corner, reeling in this other red ND Miata. Not sure what mods he has. Already a second up from the prior lap. Still a little confidence tap. Now since we're going uphill here, we can actually carry more speed than what I currently am doing. But because it's blind, you know, it's one of those corners that you also want to slowly build your courage. All right, he's braking pretty early, so we're catching him quite a bit in the braking zone, now right on his tail. Ooh, quite a bit of traffic. That is unfortunate. Now let's see if, yes, he will. Good etiquette. If a car is in your rear view and is getting closer. Oh, he has the same exact wheels as me too. This is really a clone car. Same front tow hook as mine too. That is really funny. Good taste, my guy. Good taste. So we have a slower exit speed of this final corner, and therefore we're actually carrying less speed on the main straight, you can see the delta increasing. So we're not actually starting the subsequent lap at full speed. We are now starting this lap at a lower speed, which is going to cost us a tenth or so. But it's okay, we're already 5 tenths up from our current PB. Now, the only tweaks I wish I could make on my Miata, as I am starting to grow more and more into it and actually grow more fond of it, is number one, I prefer a hardtop over a convertible in terms of noise and not having to worry about a roll bar and things like that. I'm 6'1", I barely fit in. I had to do a seat lowering bracket to lower my seat by 2¼ inches, otherwise I would not fit in with a helmet. So with the new rumored Toyota Mazda collaboration for the next generation of the GR86 and Mazda Miata, I do think that I would probably get a hardtop version, assuming they both have naturally aspirated engine. But I strongly prefer a naturally aspirated engine over a turbocharged inline 3. And we're now 1.5 seconds up from the prior lap. So that would be one thing, is just being able to fit in and not have a convertible personally, although I will admit that on certain days, the convertible is really nice, driving it on the street, and I understand the appeal. Love this corner here. You can really get a little bit of that trail brake rotation, elicit it quite a bit easier because you're going downhill. A bit too much sideways action there, that's going to cost us a bit of time, but we're still 2 seconds up, and we are predicted for a 207 on a day that is very suboptimal with track conditions, so I'm actually surprised. I'm deciding to keep it in third rather than going down to second. Still playing around with that. And that seems to be quicker. We're now more than 2 seconds up. And a 207.72. That actually ends up being my best for the day, which surprised me because just given the times of my friends and their Miata, I thought there would be a larger delta, but we were able to make it work here, and I'm starting to feel more comfortable with the Miata. I'm also getting more experience on these NorCal tracks. I really blew the line there and really having to catch this sideways action. But yeah, I had never actually done Thunderhill East until like 5 months prior to this. I've only done it a few times. August of last year, I believe, was my first time. But it's a very fun track. I think that it's a track that is a lot lower stakes than something like Sonoma, but it has this beautiful flow, good elevation change. And this is very much the beauty of the Miata as a track car, which is you can slowly chip away at the lap times. You don't have to worry about various components, the engine, tires, etc., overheating and getting greasy in the same way you do for a lot of other cars that are just far heavier. Because the car is so light, it has such good fundamentals, and you can fine-tune and try to extract an extra tenth or two corner after corner and just shave lap after lap as we've done here, going from 210s to 209 to then a 207. It is incredibly satisfying to drive. And for those who have larger, heavier cars, I mean, you understand the appeal, right? Of something that you can just beat on lap after lap and not have to worry about. And I'm going to leave you with this one final lap. This is actually my all-time PB at Thunderhill East bypass, which was done at the last track day, but it was on the second day and I only made the video from the first day. So I don't think my driving here was actually quite as good, if I'm being honest. I think the track conditions were better. It was back in January when things were cooler. And there are certain corners here where I'm not fully optimizing slip angle in the same way that I was optimizing slip angle at more corners on my 207.7 lap time. But here we actually end up going a little bit faster. In part, maybe some of my corners here I am perhaps taking a slightly more optimal line, but I think largely the track conditions here were quite a bit more forgiving. Again, if you like those Senna gloves, you can get them down in the description. Use my code. I'll save you 25% off. Yeah, I can carry more speed there, for sure. And all that speed you carry actually continues on this straight, right? So it's important to carry as much speed through the exit there. Yep, getting the tail out. Love that. Being able to dance with this car at the limit. You do need quicker hands compared to something like a GR86, but this car is far more rotation happy. And I think it's easier to plateau with the GR86 and BRZ, whereas the Miata allows you to keep progressing as a driver in a way. You know, now that I'm watching this lap again, I guess there was more slip angle at more of these corners than I was actually expecting. So maybe the driving was actually not too far apart. And across the line, a 207.3, same exact mods, except for the wheel hubs, as I mentioned, during this track day compared to my subsequent track day. And the Vitour tires were getting towards the end of their life on that March track day. Anyway, my friends, let me know what you think of the ND3 Mazda Miata as a track vehicle. Leave a comment down below. Much love. I'll see you all in the next one.